side of this saucepan with the bay leaf. And a little bit of salt to season that. And very, very, very little oil. Very little oil. Just to get that, just to get it started. And then, as soon as we get a little bit of that flavor out, we're going to begin by adding a little bit of water. And the reason for this is not only are we getting the flavor from the onion, but actually what we're doing now is we're going to begin before this starts to boil. If this was already boiling and we added in the breast of chicken, it would just immediately close it down. So what we want to do is we're going to let it come up in temperature with the water and the onion to get that flavor, to maximize that flavor in there. Okay? Just a tiny, tiny bit. Reason why I'm making this, we're not going to cook this dark. We're going to cook it very pale because of the cream color or the milk color. Because this is actually going to moisten the filling that we're going to do. So once we get a nice little starter on this and a little color, then what we're going to do with our roux then is we're going to add a little bit of cream or milk. I'm using milk. Now when you're using, I've said this a lot of times, whenever you are using a thickening agent, so let's just say now it's flour and a roux that I'm using, it's never going to be at its full thickening power until it comes to a boil. And if you're worried about lumps, I'm using a wooden spoon, as you can see. If you're worried about lumps, then you can just use a little whisk. You can use a little baby whisk like I got right here, you see? You just kind of... We had a little bit of salt and a little pepper. We're going to let this cook a little bit. Basically what happens once that simmers and it comes to a boil, then we know how thick it's going to be. And this is basically, see how thick it got? And we're going to use that later on to fold it in. Now, to make the filling, very, very simple. When that chicken is poached, we're going to let it cool like I have here. You can see it's seasoned. It's got this wonderful onion flavor. And what we're going to do is we're going to just take the chicken and just kind of chop it in chunks. And then we're going to take this now. You can do this strictly by hand if you want to. If you're a fanatic about texture and you want to just have very, very small dice, that's fine as well. What I like to do is I take the chicken and I put it inside of the processor. I'm not going to puree it. I'm going to just have this very, very rough chopped. Now, some onion, sabula, and some garlic.
Yes.
Oh yeah, babe. A little bit of parsley and a little bit of scallion or green onion. Then I have some wonderful hot sauce. Brazilian hot sauce. Not too spicy. We're just going to wake it up a little bit. Think it's awake. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of rough chop this. If I could find the cover, that would be a beautiful thing. You ladies didn't steal it, did you? Okay. Watch this. Not too, I don't want to puree it. I just want to rough chop it. That's enough. See the texture of that? Now what we're going to do, just to finish it, is we're going to add, once that cools down, a little bit of that bechamel, a little bit of that cream sauce, or the crema. We're going to add right in there. Okay. And a little bit of salt. That's it. That's the filling right there. Stop it. Done. Now this is the filling for the dough. And they do this with fish. do it with different meats. You can make them ahead of time. You can do them with shellfish. You can do them with more than just chicken. And you can spice them the way that you like it. And they're wonderful little beginnings, little beginning treats. Now, while those are frying, they're generally not served with any kind of dipping sauce. Although that vinaigrette that we had earlier would be, with the churrasco, would be terrific with these. But generally, or sometimes they'll just do a simple, very ripe fruit and make a very, very, depending on how spicy it is, make a very, very, very simple papaya or coconut, sort of just another type of vinaigrette like that as well. You fry them till they're all golden brown, and then they're ready to eat, and boy, are they tasty. Now,